Hi, now let's move to the first issue, which is about the business model. So the company, AirportCo, used the new business model in exchange with their old accounting practice, which is Business Process Improvement or BPI. In BPI, there are two phases being conducted continuously. BPI has made many changes to accounting functions to a positivity, but also has caused some problems when implementing it. So, sooner or later, the new business model is feasible to be implemented by the company or not. The company need to consider the issue arise when implementing BPI. So, to make it specific, we should firstly look at the basic changes of BPI, which is in the phase 1. In the phase 1, BPI relates with implementing finance and procurement service model. To conduct this model, each accountant needs to have specialty to perform specific accounting tasks. Meanwhile, in AirportCo, most of the accountants do not have professional qualifications. Besides that, they disagree with the additional workloads given to them when they must join special training to get professional qualification to conduct the delivery model. They are now working in stressful environment, which will affect their work performance. When working in stressful environment, they will struggle with the feeling demotivation as they are now working outside of their interests and capabilities. So, if the AirportCo still want to implement the business model, they should take initiative to take things slowly by first exposing to the accountant the problem arise from the old accounting practice so that the accountants can be understanding about the problem. Furthermore, AirportCo should explain to them that there will be rules changing and get their agreement so that they do not feel shocked with these sudden changes. The second problem arises when implementing the business model is that the accountants are given a short time period to get the qualification to handle the model. As the time frame is short, it is harder for accountants to pass each examination as they need to pass all the exams in short periods. And furthermore, the decision of CFO to freeze all promotion for accountants until they pass their professional examination is considered as wrongful act. This is because this has resulted the accountant to have resistance and dissatisfaction among them. When the accountant resists to use the business model, the effectiveness of the delivery model will not be reached. In order to avoid the accountant dissatisfied with the business model, the company should test the capability of accountant first before implementing the business model. By testing the capability of accountant, company can have sufficient time to plan and allocate when it is actually feasible to implement the delivery model. The last problem that I want to highlight is about the changes of the accountant task. After implementing the delivery model, AirportCo now have two task division, which is first is the transaction works and the new one is strategic works. The new problem arises in phase 1 is AirportCo's accountants not handle new work in strategic units, which they are incapable as it is far different than their ordinary works in transactional works. They disagree with the new rules being handed to them as they do not have any experience in the new rules. It shows that majority of the accountants in AirportCo lack competency as they quickly reject what they are incapable of doing. So, if AirportCo wants to have competent accountant, the company need to put it as a requirement to have in each of them when hiring them as accountant. Before I pass the presentation to my next teammates, I want to highlight the ethical issue that I found when implementing the finance and procurement service delivery model. So, the ethic issue arises from Ms. Soleha, who is the finance division leader that came up with the idea of implementing BPI as a change of old accounting practice. When deciding with the BPI, she actually did not take consideration of her subordinates, which means that she did not consider whether they can handle the challenge and changes or not. She directly voiced out her suggestion to implement BPI when her boss asked her to make changes. This shows that she did not care for subordinate affair before deciding the model on her own. She should firstly discuss with other subordinates when the CFO tell her that there is a need to change accounting functions in the AirportCo.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Hani Masra binti Muhammad Nasir. Next issue arises is the changes of management system from SAP to integrated ERP system. In the application of BPI, a change program has been applied according to the finance and procurement delivery service mode. It involves division of accounting functions into 4 units, which are Center of Excellence, Business Partnering, Shared Service Center, and Local Site Support. The structured accounting functions will provide a better control and monitor over the company. Before the company applied BPI, Finance Division has no control over their subsidiaries because of inconsistent accounting standard used. So, centralization of accounting functions will help the top management to stay updated with the company's current performance. However, it will create a stressful working environment among employees due to sudden changes in their roles and increasing workload. At this point, we can see that this model is not feasible to the company. Moreover, this model can provide an accurate, timely, and reliable information to the company. Having this kind of information is important in decision-making process. Previously, the subsidiaries used SAP and Peachtree accounting system, which is a standalone and hardly integrated system. The old system caused the BOD to face a problem to monitor the subsidiaries' performance. So, this new model will help BOD to make decisions in improving the company's future performance. But it also put high expectations on the employee where they are required to finish the task in a shorter time period. Besides, the implementation of this system is quite rushing. To use this model, company need professional and qualified accountants. Accountants at AirportCo would not be able to have all those required skills before the implementation of BPI. Not to mention, most of them do not have professional qualification and they refuse to take it. We can see the ethical issue where the employees are not giving commitment to these changes. One of the top management also doesn't give commitment to these changes as she resigns from her position as an executive of Shared Service Center. They cannot adapt with the new model in short time because they are not properly trained. For the solution, firstly, management accountant should develop a plan to make this change a success. Before introducing a new system, company must explain the details, for example, regarding the changes of roles to employees to give them a clearer picture on how the new system works. Secondly, company can train their employees to be more systematic. The urgent tasks must be done earlier so they can finish the workload within the time frame given. Thirdly, company must provide an early training before implementing a new system. One-month training would be enough for them to adapt with the new system. Even though the employee are not professionally qualified, they will get better after attending the training session. AirportCo can also hire external professionals to perform specialized accounting functions. Lastly, to avoid employee resistance toward training and getting professional qualifications, company may provide monetary benefit or acknowledgement to employees who perform well. In conclusion, the finance and procurement service delivery model is feasible to AirportCo. But before making any changes in management system, we need to consider many factors like employees' capabilities and preferences. We also must analyze and evaluate the new idea to avoid such problems.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Arif Fikri bin Alifuddin, so I will continue to discuss the next issue that arises in this case study. The next issue is the differences of accounting system used by the subsidiaries of AirportCo. Because the reporting formats were not standardized, AirportCo found it difficult to assess the performance of each subsidiary due to the variations in accounting systems utilized by the subsidiaries and their diverse features. The reports produced did not effectively fulfill their intended purpose because they might not accurately capture all the information required, which would make it difficult for the top management and accountants to evaluate, compare and contrast the financial performance of subsidiaries. For example, the line items included in the financial reports of subsidiaries may differ in nature and name, which might cause accountants to make incorrect financial analysis. The differences accounting practices also increase the time and cost for AirportCo to obtain an agreed format to consolidate all the subsidiaries' accounts. The accountant's ability to quickly identify business segments with strong profit margins would be affected by the delayed consolidation process since the group reporting was not efficient enough to match and eliminate intercompany transactions. So, I would suggest some idea that can help AirportCo to solve this issue. First, AirportCo need to actively participate in subsidiaries' business activities and facilitate subsidiaries' day-to-day business operations to progressively catch up the significant information that is needed to evaluate the performance of each subsidiaries. Next, AirportCo need to influence resource allocation decision to subsidiaries to increase efficiency and empower subsidiaries by ensuring resources have the skills, knowledge, and training necessary to complete allocated work and to ensure engagement performance is optimized by matching the right resources to the right task at the right time. AirportCo can also critically evaluating subsidiaries' performance via detailed reporting to help AirportCo develop future forecasts, marketing plans, guide budget planning, and improve decision making. They also can use the reports to track progress and growth, identify trends or any irregularities that may need further investigation that align with their subsidiaries' business. And lastly, AirportCo need to apply to the system where the consolidation of the financial statement of all the subsidiaries' account can be done in real time. This will help the accountants to save time and enable them to identify areas with high profit margin, thus will make the business process more effective and smoothly.
Next, the issue is on the manager decision of the centralization. Is it make it worse or better to corporation? Is it decision making is right to the path? AirportCo has been facing problem to integrate its subsidiaries accounting system with its main system. So, because of that, they came up with an idea to decentralize the accounting system. Firstly, I will briefly explain the purpose of centralization. AirportCo is centralizing this accounting process in order to simplify the accounting system and save time by avoiding performance excessive adjustment and reconciliation. The efficiency and caliber of AirportCo accounting service are also being worked on. The second purpose of centralizing the accounting system is that AirportCo can better stimulate business growth by offering superior accounting service. When AirportCo has numerous subsidiaries, each using their own accounting system, operating costs will rise. The goal of operating our business is not to increase costs instead of profit. As a result, AirportCo decided to centralize its accounting operation in order to achieve greater economies of scale, which entails reducing the company overhead costs as much as possible. When the finance department made the decision to centralize the accounting task, AirportCo really hoped to reap a number of benefits. In addition to aforementioned objective, AirportCo also wanted to effectively support the decision-making processes and activities of the subsidiaries. The main team, the finance department, is able to advise any decision that is about to be made by subsidiaries by looking at the account and financial position of subsidiaries. Additionally, centralization enables the finance department of AirportCo to efficiently monitor the operation of its subsidiaries. Furthermore, decentralization is crucial for helping subsidiaries complete the transaction smoothly and as a result, enabling subsidiaries to manage their business processes. Last but not least, AirportCo wants to keep supporting its subsidiaries including MB, AMAS, and MN. In a different world, the centralization process can have a negative effect toward the organization. For example, staff members at AirportCo are dissatisfied in this instance because they dislike changes. People dislike changes because it forces them outside of their comfort zone. In AirportCo, some units are used excessively while others are underutilized. Share Service Center as an example. The deadline system is then introduced to the staff. Staff members frequently neglect the caliber of their work in effort to meet deadline. They only concentrate on getting the job done and never consider the caliber of their work. Finally, there will be a communication problem because the manager will need to call the accountant instead of speaking to them in person now that they are allocated in one location. So, what's the solution that we suggest? We suggest to accept the centralization as bringing benefit for the company, and AirportCo will be able to focus more on saving costs while at the same time improving the effectiveness and efficiency. The manager had done a good job in strategic management as had done the planning, monitoring, analysis, and assessment of the all necessities an organization needs to meet goals and objectives. The manager must guide their staff properly in accordance to their limit so there is no burnout. The bad effect of this decision making can easily be catered by strict rules and regulation and also practices. The rules can make the worker more disciplined and the practices can make the worker become better and efficient. As people said, practice makes perfect. All the problems such as described before this mostly regarding the worker readiness. So, the one best way to change is the mindset of the workers and even the managers. The managers must highly motivated so they can motivate the workers. They must plan the spirit to improve their company and themselves. They should not be comfortable in their own cocoon and must get out to achieve something. They must reform themselves so they can make a better future.
The next issue to consider is the impact of the BPI implementation on employees. There is a good effect from implementation. Those who support BPI experience numerous success. Accounting operations that were redesigned address the financial division operation issue and improve the integrity of management control function, which improve the group business performance. The installation of BPI was perceived as undesirable development that compelled accountants to leave their present environment and comfort zone in order to accomplish new responsibilities that were fraught with uncertainty over their ability to tolerate them. Some accountants consider the result of the BPI as accounting system and procedure that were inefficient. The new accounting structure impact accountant and subsidiary ability to communicate effectively. The new accounting framework was more complex and inflexible or rigid due to exercise automation. Due to misallocation of workforce without respect for the level of difficulty and frequency of the task, there were no substantial change to the distribution of work. In the era of new accounting framework, over and underutilization of accountant was still prevalent. Under the redesigned accounting function, accountant workloads were increased due to the expectation of the escalating delivery with tighter deadlines. Some accountants compromised the quality of their work in order to fulfill the quantity-based performance goals. Manager at the subsidiary level was also unhappy with the adaptation of the new BPI since they missed their able support employees. It hindered their ability to make timely business choices due to the lack of important accounting data that was previously available nearly immediately. Due to the constraint imposed by time and geography, subsidiary level management also experienced difficulty communicate with the accountant. Next, I'm going to explain about the solutions. First of all, resign if they can handle the new accounting needs. As a worker, they need to have a good feeling in their workplace. Perception was the frequent concern among angry and dissatisfaction accountant. They saw BPI as introducing unfavorable changes, the new accounting structure and process as inefficient, and the distribution of the accountant as unfair. The negative impression would affect their spirit, motivation, and attitude to their work since their brain were preoccupied. Why is potential action? Resignation should be always be the final result. Next, the employees need to discuss their problem with the upper management. They need to negotiate to find a balance between acceptance and objection. This is done at the town hall session, and accountants should continue lobbying afterward. Communicating the nature and importance of the major change endeavor is the key to its success. What causing the change? What will be the impacts? How will the merit improve? How can group benefit? Throughout a transformation, inactive communicates and engagement are ideal. Frequent update and communication help reduce self-anxiety. They can share insight and concern with the change team. Next is work in stage. First of all, changes in business is not easy. It's a journey that need organization consistency. Change management is about controlling the changes in self, not just its impact.
A change manager must first understand the proposed change benefit and rationale. They must examine who to include on their team and who will be affected by the endeavor. Also, handle the change steadily. The change team can look back to the target to identify lacks and interact with the effects team and department to determine if the further help is needed. Iterative approach can generate tangible cumulative benefit. Short-term goal in change management initiative can benefit personnel rapidly. Long-term goal only pay off once the process is complete. This can assist change team build initiative support. Last but not least, we need to identify the point of agreement and disagreement. Identify those who likely to oppose the change. A qualified change manager should be able to predict where change resistance may develop. Engage appropriate team, department and stakeholder. By identifying and speaking with this group, change team may identify their concern and plan forward. It will always be vital to explain to this group how they might be benefit from the proposed reform. Have response ready for what in it's for me. Connect their problem to the greater picture. Many may need strategic value justification to whether the transaction pays for their daily routine. If you can show how planned modifications would increase value, annoyance claim will be weaker. Okay, and we need to summarize the area of agreement and disagreement. Ask the other person if he or she agree with your assessment. Modify your assessment until both of you agree on the area of conflict.